Hello and welcome to another Ye Olde Battles hobby video. Haven't done one for a while. Done a few videos introducing different parts of this huge Imperium project that I've got going. I've done obviously one about a couple about my Dark Angels, the Pride of Caliban. I've done one about the Sister of Silence, and then one about one of the Knights. But from now on, I'm going to lump them all together, and it's just going to be called my Imperium project. So here's everything, and I'm only going to obviously show bits that I've painted, because that's really what these videos are for, is to show my painting progress on my huge Imperium project. So we'll go over the different parts, what I've added to from last time, and what I'm sort of going to lead to next. So the Space Marines you're fairly familiar with, that's the Pride of Caliban. I've dropped the Ninth Legion part of it. I called them the Ninth Legion when I started this project because I like the name of it. And then I learned more about what that actually meant, legions and the ninth and things. That doesn't work at all, because obviously they came from the first legion, Dark Angels. So I've completely dropped that ninth legion thing. I could have called them the ninth chapter or something, but I've just dropped it. It's easier. I like them being called just the Pride of Caliban, so they're a Dark Angel successor chapter. But I run them as just plain Dark Angels. I actually run them as a successor. So in my Dark Angels, I've got here's all my different HQs, 2 lieutenants, and the Master of Gavasama. The only one that's got a name so far is Zachrael. My librarian, who you've seen in a few battle reports, he's now got a name. I tried to name him. He doesn't actually. Well, he's called Castiel. Got the name from the Psychic Awakening book, but all characters in this will only have one name, except him. He's going to be Castiel the Unpredictable, because he's so randomly good or bad in games. He's either does really well or he's awful. So he's Castiel the Unpredictable. And I've got community of intercessors with obviously bot rifles, my sniper rifles. Got my infiltrators, my eliminators with las fusils, my Deathwing. I've got normal Deathwing Terminators and my Deathwing Knights. Got my aggressors now. I think they were in the last video. Got the ones with the Flamestorm gauntlets. Many because they're cheaper. I wouldn't necessarily have to run them as WYSIWYG. Only really played Jackie, wouldn't mind. Hellblasters as always, seen before. My 3 bikers, my 3 land speeders, and my land speeder Vengeance. Although I have now run that recently as a Dark Shroud, and I'll definitely run it as a Dark Shroud again. I might even see if I can get the bits to it to make it a Dark Shroud. Dark Shroud's just more useful. 2 Dreadnoughts. So we know honoured brother Zoriel, who's the guy with the flamers. Took him in a report recently and he did really well, so he's earned himself a name. He's going to be honoured brother Astravel. Also got a name for Psychic Awakening book, I like it. So he's Astravel. Zoriel is my 2 Dreadnoughts. They've both always done really well, actually. Trias Predator, Vindicator. I've taken him for a while. They're a bit rubbish, to be honest with you, but I'm going to keep it. Got my Inceptors. They're obviously pretty awesome. And last of all, got my Nephilim Jet Fighter and my Stormraven. He probably needs a name, really. Stormraven, he's pretty awesome. That's a Space Marine so far. I've got a fair few things to add to that yet. I've got another unit of Inceptors, 2 more units of Intercessors, another unit of Hellblasters to add to that. Got some Incursors to add to that. Got some more bikes to add. I've got an Invictus Tactical War Suit. These are all things I already own and just need to paint. They're all going to be added to it. The only other things I really want to get, I want to get a Repulsor at some point. But that's probably it I really want to get for my Space Marines. I've not got too much more I want to buy for them at the moment. That's the Space Marines. And I've got my Assassin Force. That's the Assassinoriums. I've got all 4. Calidus, Collectus, Vindicare, and the Eversaw. I love my Assassins. I'm definitely going to use them. I know that they've got them more expensive. I would probably only really use them as a 4. Because if you use them with Dark Angels, they then lose Combat Doctrines. If I use them with my sisters, they lose Sacred Rights. So I tend to just only take them as all 4. Possibly with, don't know, people will be facing, possibly with the Knights. They go well with the Knights because they don't lose anything from being with Knights. So they're probably going to be mainly going with my Knights as my 4 Assassins. Then I've got my Sisters of Silence, the Emperor's Hand Cadre, they're called Emperor's Hand Cadre, I called them. 1 unit of Vigilators, 2 units of Witch Seekers, and a Rhino. Used them not too recently, but in a game against 1,000 Tons. They were awesome. They're just great, really great against Psychers. They just terrify them really, so they were awesome. And I've got my new Sisters army. I haven't seen any of these on the channel yet, or in any videos I don't think yet either. So this is all I've got painted so far. I've got Celestine. Some people diss Celestine as an actual, not as a model so much, but as a on tabletop. I've used her in a couple of reports that I haven't filmed, but she's been amazing in all of them, so I'm going to keep using her. I'm going to come a bit further down now. So I've got, these are my other HQs. I've got Greyfax. Obviously she's Inquisition, not Sisters, but I'm going to use her a lot in Sisters because I like her. And she fills a good space for Sisters because she's a Psyker. And that's just one of my favourite models I've ever owned. It just looks so badass. Almost as badass as Candace Viridian. I'm actually going to keep her with that name. She's going to keep the name Candace Viridian. I know that Viridian was, I think, our martyred lady, and that's not what I'm using her as, but I'm going to still call her Viridian because it's such a cool name. Actually, I need to do her face properly. Another Canoness, finished that recently. It's a Bloody Rose Canoness. So my sisters are basically made up of two orders, Valorous Heart and Bloody Rose. I painted more Bloody Rose so far, but the Valorous Heart will actually end up being bigger. So far for Valorous Heart, I painted 1 unit of 5 sisters and a Dominion called the Melters. And again, I know that the white hair is actually an Martyred Lady thing, but I really like it, so I'm gonna use it for all mine. Give some continuity across the army. So I've got 10 more sisters to paint, 10 more battle sisters. I've got another unit of Dominion with Stormbolters to paint. I've got some Retributors that are going to be Valorous Heart. Various other bits actually that are Valorous Heart going to be. My Bloody Rose, I have actually painted 3 units of battle sisters for Bloody Rose. That's all the ones I'm going to have. So I've got a flamey one, heavy flamer, and a combi flamer. I've got a bolty one, storm bolter, heavy bolter, the Simulacrum Imperialis, that's just from the Battle Sisters box set. And I've got a really cheap one. This is my bog standard set, it's just bolters, nothing else. We'll need to do her plasma, I need to do the blue in her plasma. And I got my Seraphim. They're not actually quite finished yet. As you can see, the bases aren't done, but I couldn't quite bear to leave them out of this video when I'm so close to finishing them. I basically do their faces and their bases and they're done. That's my sisters, so we'll end up with 2 Bloody Rose Battalion, a Bloody Rose Battalion and a Valorous Heart Battalion. I could then sort of break up into various little ones if I wanted to. I could definitely run a Vanguard or a Fast Attack in a couple of these, so that's the ongoing project. That's what I'm painting at the moment, is all these sisters, so I'm looking forward to getting all these done. I did a battle recently, a solo battle, because we're still in the middle of the coronavirus outbreak when I'm recording this. I did a battle of Battle Sisters against Dark Angels, and they wiped out the entire Dark Angels army, only losing 1 unit of Dominion squad in the process, so they were amazing. I don't quite know how that happened, but they absolutely slaughtered them. So that's the sisters. At the back, you can see I've got my knights. These are quite new. You've seen them in Battle Report. You haven't seen them named yet. So I have given them all names, and I originally wasn't going to give them pilot names, just going to give them the chassis names, but I've decided to name both now in a rather cheesy way. I'm naming them after my own family. So front and centre is me, Sir Humphrey. He's riding Heretic's Bane. The left is Lady Humphrey. She's riding in the Sword of the Emperor, which you've seen the video of before. Out front, we've got, what do I call them? Lady Lyra is one of them. I think I'm going to make Lady Lyra the left one. And the right one is Sir Rowan. Lady Lyra is riding Furious Storm. And Sir Rowan is riding Calm Destruction. And that is in no way a reflection of their personalities. It definitely is. Definitely is. And then my free blade, I'm naming Sir Kavanagh after Jack, best gaming bud. So that's Sir Kavanagh, and he rides Ever Stalwart. He's my free blade. So those are my knights. Sir and Lady Humphrey share the warlord role. Sometimes he's the warlord, sometimes she's the warlord. That's again in no way a reflection of our marriage, because she would always be the warlord if that was the case. But yeah, those are my knights. So this is my entire Imperium project so far. As I've said, I've got more Space Marines to add. I've got more sisters to add to that. At the moment, I'm not intending to get any more knights. I might get a Dominus class one for the sake of variety, but that's not in the pipeline at the moment. I like the knights as they are. That's a decent list. That's about 1,750 points, I think I've got there, about 1,800. And if I add sort of like Greyfax and a couple of assassins, and I make it up to what I like, or I could possibly include a very small sisters battalion, because, you know, 2 Canonesses and 3 Sister Squads. It's only about 200 points. So that's quite easy to actually, like, 250 points, but I could include some foot troops I wanted to make it, get some more command points and things. But yeah, there is the whole thing. Hope you enjoyed looking at that as much as I've enjoyed painting them all. The only one that I didn't paint, so I painted everything here. Everything is my paint job except that knight. That knight was delivered to me like that. I did the transfers on it. But I bought that one out off eBay, and that's how he was painted. But everything else is painted by me. I've stuck with that black and red quite. So like even the Valora's Heart, they're black and they've got the little red on there. And their backpacks, they're red with a bit of black on. I've tried to stick with that black and red theme. Just because I like it to have a theme across the army, even though I know they aren't Dark Angels. I really don't like it when people give their knights space to like Space Marine chapters, because that's not how it works. So yeah, that's them. There we go. I'll just pan out so you can see the whole thing again. And hopefully the next time you see this, I'll have a lot more sisters painted. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.